TJ.
Is it green yet?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. So this is our last speech. This is my last speech. It's the last time I actually have to stare at that little clock there and wait for it to turn green. This is not my strongest subjects. I've always been kind of a shy speaker, and this has actually kind of meant a lot for me because a lot of the comments I've gotten from you guys said that I'm actually a good speaker, which is kind of weird. I've never thought of myself that way. So I kind of got that out of this class. I've made a portfolio. Unfortunately, I had some printer issues, so it just says durable. And I just want to kind of go over my speeches because, like I said, I've always thought that I was never a really good public speaker. I've always kind of stuttered and kind of been timid and not really like to speak publicly. And this class has actually kind of helped me with that. Normally used to be when my friends would be talking, I just kind of sit back and let them talk, and now I'm usually the loud mouth of the group and kind of throw my opinion out there, sometimes for the best, sometimes for the worst. So, kind of figured I'd start with the introduction speech for a significant individual. I did this on my girlfriend Sarah. It actually touched her a lot. She was really happy. I used it kind of as a bailout. Sometimes when she gets mad at me. I do something bad, and I was like, well, I wrote about you, honey, and she kind of melts. So, that was my first speech, and that's also the speech I chose to write my reaction about, and I watched it. Well, I actually had to watch two of them, because when I went to the library, that one didn't have any sound. I don't know if anybody has watched the first disc and not had any sound. Maybe it was just me. I could tell that I was nervous even though I couldn't hear myself. I was constantly looking down and looking at the floor and, not really doing what I needed to do. I had brought a picture and I had actually rehearsed that one because it was my first speech. I was really, really nervous about it. I had, a story because when that picture was drawn, that was a trip we went to San Francisco the whole day, and I was so nervous, I just went right out of my mind. I kept looking down, and I'd see what I wrote, and I just couldn't focus on it, and would just be completely lost. So I actually, that was my starting point. I kind of figured, okay, well, I wasn't very good, so I can go nowhere but up from there, and because that's what I thought. So that led me to my second speech, my demonstration speech on how to make barbecue pulled pork, which I'm sure some of you guys have figured out that's what I'm bringing to Thursday. So maybe grease the wheels a little bit, maybe get that bee, bring some. That speech, I didn't watch that one, but I felt a lot more comfortable with that speech. I actually only rehearsed that one once, and even though it was short, I just was so much more comfortable after being up here. I also had gotten a chance to know you guys a little bit better, so it wasn't so difficult for me. I was still timid a little bit, and I actually didn't find out until after I got my rubric that I didn't actually demonstrate how to do anything, but that one was, I really liked it. That speech was very good for me. I kind of got a lot of confidence with it and felt, really good about it, and it kind of had a spiral effect of, every speech since then I just kind of felt more and more comfortable. I don't mind looking at everybody and smiling, making people laugh, or, make people just sit there and be like, okay. And so that was that speech. Let's see here. This is my favorite speech, my past critique with Barack Obama. That was actually a really long speech. I watched it twice, read it several times. I actually still have his word for word. This was at the George Mason University. And this speech was actually really good. I've watched plenty of presidential speeches. I mean, I was going to school when Clinton and Bush were going through election. I was going here actually when Kerry and Bush were going against each other. And I've always had to, do research and watch these elections. And most of the time when I watch them, I just would always look at both of them and say, okay, which one's the lesser of the two evils? They're both kind of not that good. And with the Barack Obama speech, this one I was kind of like I was into it. I read it several times. I watched it, and every time I watched it, I just kind of got more out of it. Just like, okay, maybe we got something turning around. So I was actually really happy, and that was actually a real fun speech to watch and to speak to you guys about. I still have, like I said, the note cards and everything for it. I'm actually real happy about that one. Let's see here. So yeah, my persuasive speech, that was probably my most confident speech, just because I did it on something I've already had training in. It was really easy for me. I had all this information. It was just a matter of condensing it, making it sound presentable. Like I said, I'm not a very good public speaker. I'm used to working in shops where profanity and ain't correct language is used all the time. So it was kind of hard to make that sound professional. But that was actually, I really enjoyed that speech. It brought out some more confidence because I've been unemployed since July, and actually doing that speech kind of made me research of all that I have accomplished, and it's like, okay, well, now I'm not so down upon myself because stuff happens and I'm starting new, and so it's actually because being unemployed for a long time after you've been employed, it's kind of a downer. It kind of brings you down, and you kind of don't feel good about yourself. So when I did that speech, it kind of brought me up a little bit and made me feel good about myself. So that was that speech. Ooh, actually, got the minus on that one too. The speech I did after that was the informative speech. That was on Mark Wellman. I don't know if I know a couple of you guys attended that speech too, and that was actually a pretty cool speech because you have a paraplegic climbing mountains, and that just doesn't make any sense, especially when he became a paraplegic from climbing mountains. It was really awesome to watch somebody who's has his life situation because of what he does, and yet he still does it, and he also comes up with new tools and new ways to climb mountains being a paraplegic. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. I like that speech as well. I've actually liked pretty much all the speeches I've done in this class, aside from the parrot speech. Not because of my last partner; she actually made it really easy. It was the two partners previous to that derailed it a little bit. And yeah, that was actually the speech after. That's the highest grade speech I got, was a B+. Lisa kind of carried me a little bit on that one because she had a good plan, and I just kind of rolled with what she had. Like I said, my two partners before that, the first one I could never get a hold of, and the second one was my partner for a week and disappeared. So that speech was actually really fun. I was kind of nervous on that one. I talked really fast, and I think that's why she got an A and I got a B, because she kind of carried me on that one, but she talked slow and Hat was calm. I was a little talking fast and timid again because, like I said, I wasn't prepared. That was that speech. And then this speech, what I'm doing right now, it was kind of hard for me to come up with. I'm not used to not having a direct subject to do, a speech about. The speech is about the portfolio, and my portfolio is so many different things, and it's kind of hard to condense it all down into 7 to 10 minutes and have it be, good without me talking like I'm on some sort of, speed-enhancing pill. So this speech was actually very hard for me. I figured I'd just kind of go over my past speeches and just kind of, talk with everybody about, what I've learned from everybody. Well, remember, like, Bunny, she's got this bubbly personality, and it's someone that you'll never forget. And Bunny's always, super prepared. I've never seen her at a speech where she wasn't 100% ready to go before classes started. Ben, I think everybody's going to mention you. I mean, you got to laugh at it. No one's ever going to forget. We're going to be like 9 years old. We're still going to hear you laughing. Pretty awesome, I guess, because, it's good that you're always having fun. Fun's always, especially when you're in school. So I've kind of talked about, my past speeches and kind of what I've learned from everybody. And yeah, I hope you guys all have a happy holiday.